We should all stop watching movie trailers. Why? Well, I was talking to a friend recently about the new Barbie trailer, and they were super excited because it, quote, didn't ruin anything about the movie. And I was like, yeah, it's a teaser trailer. That's kind of the point. It teases the movie, no spoilers. But I thought that was pretty indicative of movie marketing today. We're celebrating trailers for not completely ruining a film. That's where we're at. And after watching the Fast X Super Bowl ad, I've got to admit, it's becoming harder to differentiate between a trailer and a spoiler-filled supercut. Like, I don't really have to watch Fast X anymore. I will, because I'm a sucker for family.
You will never be able to break my family.
But when an almost 5-minute trailer outlines the majority of a 3-act structure and includes all the best jokes and action, it dulls any anticipation and warps your expectations for the film. And this isn't entirely unique to modern movie trailers. Old trailers were guilty of this too, using spoilers and the movie's quote-unquote best bits to attract an audience. That's advertising 101. They're trying to sell tickets. But compared to a few decades ago, there are now so many voices contributing to film discourse, and everything moves so much quicker. Now, I don't work in marketing, but I assume that it's become exponentially more difficult with the need to differentiate a film from the seemingly endless supply of competing content, and studios having only 30 to 45 days to make box office profits before the film is pulled and relegated to streaming. What used to be cute newspaper reviews and word of mouth has now Frankenstein into millions of people trying to one-up each other online with controversial and outrageous statements. And apparently, our attention spans are so bad now that trailers start with a trailer for that trailer.
3, 2, 1. Here's a
Hey,
John
Chinese little
City.
city.
Like, what? It's so mind-boggling.
3, 2, 1.
Why do we need this? This is so stupid. And then people make videos reacting to the trailer, and then people go on podcasts talking about those reactions, and then idiots like me make videos like this. And if you love this wormhole of content, that's awesome, good for you. And admittedly, there's some really cool stuff that comes from trailers. Like the detective work surrounding Spider-Man No Way Home was pretty cool. I liked it. But bottom line, there's too much discourse, too much content that we're consuming, and it's ruining people's perceptions of movies before they even go. Which is why I'm making this video. The amount of people who drop into my comments saying they'll never see something because of a trailer or they read one bad review is ridiculous. It's an epidemic, it sucks, and it's one of the many reasons cinemas are in a bad place. So about a year ago, I decided to actively stop watching trailers. And honestly, I'm having way more fun. And before someone chimes in, yeah, of course I still watch some trailers. I go to the movies a lot, so it's not like I cover my eyes during the pre-roll ads. I'm not a psycho. But if I'm trying to pick a movie on streaming or I want to go check out a new release, I won't watch a trailer, and it's been great. The main reason for this is something I mentioned before, the warping of expectations. And to explain this, I've got to take you back to my childhood. When I was little, my dream job was making movie trailers. You got to see all the new releases early, craft a story, work with this voiceover guy.
Coming soon to a cinema near you.
It seemed really fun. And then a few months ago, I actually got to do it. I cut together some trailers for a distribution company, but unfortunately, the reality of the process was a bit depressing. The film I was working on was a really good crime noir thriller, but I was asked to cut together 3 trailers presenting the film as completely different genres. One as a drama, one as a comedy, and one as an action film. Apparently, these false perceptions of the film would sell better, would draw in a larger audience or something. And I'm not an idiot, so I understand the need to twist the truth while advertising, but it still felt a bit gross, as I was giving viewers a completely false expectation of what to expect. I was warping their expectations, which was setting them up for disappointment. And this idea of expectation is, at least to me, the most important aspect of moviegoing. Like, when was the last time you went into a movie completely blind? Because I think some of my best cinematic experiences have been knowing absolutely nothing about a movie. Like Barbarian last year was absolutely wild. I went in knowing it had Bill Skarsgård and it was about an Airbnb or something. That was it. And it blew my head off. Absolute madness. Same thing with The Northman. I knew Vikings, good cast, Robert Eggers. And I really enjoyed the strangely mystical Nordic feel that emphasized that you can't escape your fate. But if I watched the trailer, which presented as some triumphant revenge flick, I would have been brutally disappointed. And trailers do this all the time. If they're not revealing the entire plot, they're twisting the perception of the film to make it more bankable. Just last year, there was a Bones and All trailer that didn't even mention that the main characters were cannibals, which is kind of the whole point of the movie. White Noise, one of the strangest films of the year, was advertised as a quirky family comedy. And even The Fabelmans, which was incredible, incredible, by the way, was advertised almost universally as a corny movie about making movies. And while it's true that Spielberg's autobiographical stand-in does spend the movie pursuing filmmaking, it's more interested in him using films to reconcile the more scary and depressing elements of his life. There's nothing corny about children of divorce and religious discrimination. Now, having said this, there are still some good trailers being made. I'm fine with anything that doesn't give away the plot, teases us with the cast, and uses a good score. The Dunkirk trailer comes to mind with like the constant ticking throughout. Promising Young Woman had an incredible trailer that used snippets of dialogue to characterize Cassandra without revealing any of the plot, and the first Nope trailer was suspenseful without showing the villain. So clearly there are ways to do it well. But since I stopped watching trailers, I've just been much happier not having any baggage going into a theater. Everything feels a lot newer and fresher. I've been watching genres I wouldn't usually watch. I've been watching more foreign films, more old films. It's been a lot of fun. And you might say, Jack, I've got to watch trailers or I won't know what's coming out. And yeah, I'll agree, that's a fair argument. If you're not scrolling IMDb or film Twitter, you still need suggestions for what to watch. But you don't need trailers. Scroll through your streaming service or local cinema website, look for actors, directors, or genres you like, read a one-line synopsis, and then just go for it. The joy of watching a movie, at least for me, is experiencing something new that makes me feel something I've never felt before. And that could be a dumb action movie or a thriller or a rom-com. I don't really care, just give me something fresh. And therefore, it makes me really sad that a lot of movie discourse has now been reduced to the statement, they don't make good movies anymore. This, at least to me, is a self-fulfilling circular argument that often relies on the faith of other people's opinions way too much. It's an echo chamber, like you hear someone say it and you're like, yeah, I haven't seen a good movie in a while. If you have criticisms with current movies in production, like a lot of people think that things are either too woke or too political, that's fine. I'm not super happy with everything being made today either. I'm not saying that the movies are perfect, but to say that nothing good gets made anymore is a ridiculous blanket statement, especially from people who openly admit that they don't watch anything anymore. Like, wouldn't you rather trust your own taste, your own ability to discern good from bad and watch something yourself? Wouldn't you trust your own opinion over the opinion of other people, the thousands of amalgamated opinions on the internet? I would. And I know this video is very hypocritical because I make video essays and reviews telling people my thoughts on the latest things, so I'm adding to this big mess. But I think people would enjoy more movies if they blocked out the noise and made up their own minds. So that's why I don't watch trailers anymore, and maybe why you shouldn't either. Maybe next time, don't watch a trailer, don't see what something got scored on like a Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, just take a risk. Decide for yourself whether you like a movie, and yeah, maybe you'll have fun.